Welcome, one and all, to another brand new episode of Undisputed Anime. I am your Taichou, Zane, as always. I am joined by my fantastic co-host who looks slightly scared, Mr. Susude. Are you okay?
Spooky month. Spooky month, my friends.
This is Halloween, I guess.
Spooky times are coming, my friend.
If you're new here, welcome. We like to talk about anime, manga, and all that jazz. We're currently live on YouTube, so make sure you drop a like and subscribe. And jump into the comments, like Ice Wolf here, who says, "Evening, everyone. Evening, Ice Wolf. Thank you for joining us today." And Susu Day. Look, I could do this thing as well where I pop it up on the screen. So there's Ice Wolf's comment. Look at that. And there's CC Day's comment. Look at
My
that.
word.
Technology.
The production value of this podcast is honestly superb.
Up and up. Plus ultra. Today we will be talking about Disney and their new anime. Do I say acquisition?
It's a plan because I think it's already their property. So it's kind of like it's more like Disney and their new anime plans. I'd say.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Let's jump into it. Like, Disney have decided to make, not only host some animes, which we'll touch on in a moment, but they'll be making their own anime series. That's right. Let's pull up this article.
So foreshadowing this was because we were talking about this very thing last week, and then what do you know? It's like they're always watching.
They're always watching. I think someone's subscribed to this channel. Must be.
That's the only explanation.
We had the episode, and you can listen back to these episodes. We had an episode where we...
Is Star Wars an anime?
Is Star Wars an anime? It turns out
yes.
There is now. With 9 episodes. And here we are. Another Disney-based anime. And, you know, as this article by Polygon kind of goes on to mention, Disney's Twisted Wonderland is being adapted into an anime for Disney Plus. The company announced at the Asian Pacific Showcase on October 14th. The adaptation is being developed in partnership with Aniplex, which is a great studio. It's not, an unknown studio or anything along those lines, right? For those listening, Susu Day's nodding.
I realize that there are listeners, not just viewers. Awkward.
This is a boarding school set adventure game that was released in March 2020 on mobile and has since become a smash hit in Japan, created by Yana Tobuso. Yes. If I've pronounced that correctly.
I would say you're pretty spot on there.
Fans may recognize that name because that is the author behind Kurisetsuji, or aka Black Butler. So some fantastic character designs are coming out of this straight away.
Absolutely, I'm big fan of the art style. It's a. I mean, I'm just going to jump right in and say that this is a surprising choice for Papa Mickey to be choosing as its next journey into anime, because I'm led to believe, and I'll come out and say right now, I'm not like super familiar with Twisted Wonderland as an IP, but I know it to be it's a horny mobile game filled with sexy bishonen like protagonist, like side characters.
Yes. So from what I've read, these characters are all inspired by Disney villains. So, for example, Azul here we have on our screen is inspired by Little Mermaid's Ursula, who grants wishes at a price. We've also got a domineering redhead crown wearing Riddler Rosehearts, who's a nod to the Queen from Alice in
Alice in
Wonderland.
Wonderland, yeah.
Um, and in the opening of this article, this chap here is supposed to represent Scar from The Lion King.
Yeah, I mean, I really, the art, because the art style itself is beautiful, and if this is done well,
Mhm.
it will likely be very good, very very good. And I mean, one of Disney's biggest sells is the fact that they've usually, and this in the older like movies, they've always got very good villains, and the villains are all
Yeah,
very charismatic and compelling, and a lot of people like find that they relate more with the villains than they do with the actual like princesses and heroes. So
absolutely. Yeah. Every good story needs a great villain behind it, but it's just it's crazy. And I think the reason why one it's crazy is because a Disney doing an anime is just kind of like mind boggling, in the sense that and this kind of leads into the second thing I was going to say. It's not Kingdom Hearts. Like they've had Kingdom Hearts on the books for years now. Like
yeah,
Kingdom Hearts has almost been Disney's dirty little secret. Like
yeah,
it's not really at any theme park. You won't find any like Disney merch in terms of like Kingdom Hearts in a Disney store or anything. It's always been something in the distance on the
yeah.
Square Enix
You
site.
you were you would very occasionally will hear stories of the Kingdom Hearts um, costume mascot. Like you'll hear like of Donald or Goofy showing up in one of the theme parks wearing their Kingdom Hearts like gear
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
pretty cool. But I mean, to be honest, like I can absolutely see why Disney would avoid Kingdom Hearts to further develop on, and that's simply because, and I say this as like the biggest like Kingdom Hearts fan, the
Hmm.
Kingdom Hearts story is so like so convoluted, it is so complex that they wouldn't be able to. I don't think that they could really make like they couldn't introduce this as like an entry point thing for like a franchise, because Kingdom Hearts has got so many like offshoots now that anyone who
Yeah,
jumps in it is going to be overwhelmed by how much there is.
yeah, certainly. I can see what you mean. It's Kingdom Hearts isn't the easiest thing to explain at the best of times, but I suppose, like any good anime series, there's some things they would cut out, and there's other things they would keep in, and things of that nature. I'm just having a look at some of these character designs.
Eyeing up the delicious character, aren't you? I think, I mean, I mean, going back to like continuing on Kingdom Hearts, I think that the other reason that they would probably not choose to capitalize more on this property they're already involved with
Hmm.
is that it is just that they are involved in Kingdom Hearts, but is Kingdom Hearts like, and obviously they own characters and stuff in it, and
Hmm.
their names are above the title, but Kingdom Hearts is a shared project, so to
Yes.
speak. They don't own all the rights to it,
Yeah. Yeah.
whereas
That's what I
Twisted
suspect.
Wonderland, as I understand it, it's their property, like through
Hmm.
and through.
Yeah.
So, and say what you will about fond memories of Disney, they are a big corporation and they like money.
Yes. This is very true, and you know, this is probably the best time for them to do this because let's face it, we all, if you haven't known already, like anime and manga are possibly two of the biggest mediums right now. Like things like Demon Slayer being so successful at the cinema and on streaming platforms like Netflix. Manga is currently outselling some of the biggest comic books right now. Like we've got Chainsaw Man outselling the likes of Batman and Spider Man comics currently. So if they were going to throw their hat into the mix, this is probably the best time to do it.
Absolutely. And I mean, hate to be the one to say it, but like this has come far too late in the game. Like why is it now? Why is it now that anime manga has to be like cool in when it wasn't in when we were young?
I know, like,
Like to
even
fight and scrape any media we could get.
absolutely. But here we are. We live in an age where there's going to be a cowboy live action adaptation. So we definitely lived in the greatest era. But similar to Star Wars Visions, do you think this will open up more windows or more doors for other IP, especially for Disney IP?
I
Like,
think I would honestly think so. I think that this time they're choosing to adapt a property that that's already kind of partway there. Like it's
mhm,
already the setup's already there. They've already got character designs. So I mean, this is a good second step into the market. But I
mhm.
think that we could very well see the next time they do something that it could be like a from the ground up like new IP.
Yeah.
So
Mm. Yeah, yeah, I'm just trying to speculate. Like, if they were to throw their hat in, what would you? Mm,
I don't know. I think that if they were to do it, if they were to like produce an anime from the ground up,
yeah.
starting like with a completely new property, I could very well see them returning to their roots in a lot of ways and do something a classic story of a villain, a princess, and
Okay.
like the hero that comes to the rescue, like
Yeah.
some variation of that, because that's what Disney in a lot of ways was built on. So I could
Yeah.
definitely see them like, hey, we've got this formula that we've been using for like years. Why don't we try it in this medium? Like they could do it as like a series, or they could just do it as like a one-off like movie,
I
something
see
like
what
that.
you
I
mean.
think like
So
to
what
test the
would
waters.
be, yeah, what would be like the next Frozen or Moana or the next sort of big Disney property,
Yeah,
but as a hand drawn anime instead of
yeah.
their sort of CGI that they've been doing recently.
Return to kind of what it was, but like in a different style. Like, and I mean, it doesn't
Mm,
have to like be the next big Disney princess property, but
yeah.
definitely I could see like because stories like that work extremely well, like in
Yeah.
anime. Like we've all like watched them.
That was Ghibli's bread and butter. Like,
Yeah,
let's face it, for the longest time, Ghibli was known as the anime or Japanese version of Disney, wasn't it?
yeah, and I can very easily see Disney doing the same sorts of stories. Like
Mm.
so, I mean, why not? I don't think it's unrealistic to think that they might do that. So
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. I'm just think like, call me crazy. Wouldn't it be great if they, I don't know, threw gargoyles over the pond and was just like, here's an old IP.
yeah, actually, the moment
Try.
you said gargoyles, I was like, yeah, actually, you know what? There's some old old cartoons like that they've had their hands in with.
Mm,
So I mean, those would all be great. I mean, you see stuff like that all the time with other properties like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and stuff like that, and Transformers
yeah.
and stuff like that, getting like some anime like love. So
Yeah.
be cool to see something like a property like because Gargoyles. I can't remember if this is accurate or not. It's been a long time since I've watched Gargoyles. I haven't like tried to relive on Disney Plus yet. But am I right in remembering that it doesn't actually have a conclusion? It like kind of has like four seasons and kind of just ends.
I'm not sure. Like, I couldn't say. I know there's a lot of twists and turns throughout the whole sort of arch and story, but I can't remember if it does have an ending.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure, like with a lot of like late 80s, early 90s, like cartoons, they didn't. It was done like kind of on a week to week basis. Like it was like
Mm,
it was like this the classic like superhero story comic sort of thing, where it's
yeah,
like you have your story of the week, don't you? With your
yeah.
like your villainous group or your villain and the heroes. They win that week, and then next week
Yes.
you maybe you'll get a two-parter episode, but every
Hmm.
single week is standalone, but in the same continuity.
Yeah. I similar to the X-Men series at the time, the 90s like X-Men series. But yeah, it'd be cool again if they threw it over the pond to a studio like um, Trigger or um,
Mappa.
Mappa. Yeah, I was just trying to think of one off the top of my head. Madhouse. Madhouse would go super dark with it. I would imagine though. That's the problem.
Mm.
But at the same time, an IP like Gargoyles, I think would work amazing, and it would get some new eyes on the property and stuff. Um, at the same time, I know it's happened a few occasions, but Marvel and anime, like again, it's something that Disney could look back into because again, we had Madhouse do a couple of Wolverine. They
Mm.
did the X-Men series, which were all incredible. Maybe not the Wolverine, but the X-Men one was really good. Um, so again, there's other IPs they could test the water with just to see
I mean, look at
how
it
they work.
like I believe that, I think that this is something that I wanted to discuss anyway. So I'm gonna
Mm.
just throw it out there right now. What are some Disney properties that you would personally like to see as anime?
Ooh.
I'm gonna
Have
kick
you
it
really?
off.
I
I'm
was
gonna
going to
kick
say
it
you
off.
kick it
I'm gonna
off.
kick it off with one because I'm terrified that you might come to the same conclusion. And I'm like, no, this is mine. This is mine. Treasure Planet.
Okay. Say no more.
Treasure Planet as a give me a 24 episodes like Treasure Planet anime.
Wow.
Yeah,
24 episodes.
give me something meaty. Have them stop at other worlds on the way. You know?
Four different opening sequences then.
Yes,
And
absolutely. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, Treasure Planet is a great one. Like you said, you can easily space that out with some fillers, but
yeah,
it's a universe building. It's not just world
yeah.
fillers can be used as world building, but
That
it
is
would
that's the
be
biggest the biggest missed opportunity with Treasure Planet, and and why it's such a shame it wasn't as popular as
mm,
it should have been, is the fact that like they created this really compelling, like amazing, like world setting,
yeah,
and they never got to explore it further.
yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Um, see, when you first asked me the question, I instantly thought of Lilo and Stitch, but I was like, it's kind of been done. Like they had
That would
their
be
own.
very Pokemon-y.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah. So I instantly thought of Lilo and Stitch, and I was like, no, that's been done. Then I thought of Aladdin. Aladdin had its own TV series, but yeah, Treasure Planet. Again, the IPs that didn't work the first time round, I think would work perfectly in
Yeah,
these scenarios.
get a little reboot.
Mm. Meet the Robinsons. I think Meet the Robinsons is incredible how it is,
Oh,
but
absolutely. I would fight and die for Meet the Robinsons.
but if you can make it even more zany and wacky with, you
Yeah.
know,
Make
a
it like an
studio behind
offshoot
it.
series, like make it so that like they're just jumping through different timelines and stuff like that. Make it that sort of like show.
Um, also, we're forgetting like Disney does have a history of, dare I say, furries. Like, a series like BNA for Trigger, you could take that template and just kind of put it over something else. Like, I'm not going to say Mickey's Playhouse because that's not it, but do you see where I'm going?
I do. The moment you said it,
DuckTales.
though, the moment you said it, I was like, imagine JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but Mickey and the gang. Mickey coming out, he's absolutely jacked. Pluto is his stand.
Well, I was going to say Pluto would be Iggy, wouldn't he? He'd
Oh
have
yeah,
like his own stand. Yeah.
do it. I mean, like, do a series about the younger generation. Like, have something focused, like creating a new story around like Max and like the Goofy movie.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that sort of story would make a great slice of life.
Yeah. Or some sort of like in canon. Um, his name has literally just escaped my brain then. Powerline.
Yeah.
Like, Powerline has his own anime series inside the Goofy movie universe. Like,
Would you wear the costume when you watch this?
that's one cosplay we're not allowed to talk about.
Still got video of the dance.
Oh boy.
But yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of. I mean, there's already just like generally a ton of like movies that I would just love to see like an anime adaptation of. Like any of the original like big Disney princess movies would probably all make great would look great in a different style.
Hmm.
I think.
Yeah, yeah, like a Snow White could
Hmm.
be really almost heartbreaking.
You could take it down even a much darker route as well with an anime.
Hmm.
So
Oh.
okay,
I,
okay. Now
I,
you went too far over the
I
lines.
went too down the rabbit hole.
I was
Yeah.
going up to the line. You went over the line.
The
You know,
words
like,
Goblin Slayer came to mind.
but
Snow White and the Seven
like
Goblins.
Sleeping Beauty.
Hmm.
Like that would be a great story to adapt because you know you've got an evil witch queen, you have a curse, you have a
Yeah,
princess, you have a like a hero, and you have a giant dragon final boss fight.
perfect. That's
Yeah,
like every other RPG,
you have
JRPG.
you have like fairies looking at like looking after this like runaway princess, like who's hidden away in the woods.
Yeah.
Actually no, I'm pretty sure. Is this the story like the plot of Magico that I'm thinking of right now? Might be. It might be.
Might be. Um, but still, like it's there's so much that can be done, and
Mm.
you know, even I'm just kind of shooting off the ground here with things like Wreck It Ralph. There's so many sort of obviously video games that tie into RPGs and JRPGs and stuff like that. Um, I was thinking of Subasa for a second there as well, like traveling to different worlds and stuff. But that's kind of Kingdom Hearts in so many
Yeah.
ways.
Well, it's funny that you bring us back around to Kingdom Hearts because there is another thing that
Mm.
I had this conversation with some other friend a while back. Wonder what you think about it. In fact,
Yeah.
I think that like if they were to dip into Disney were to dip into Kingdom Hearts to find a title to
Hmm.
monetize into a show, into like an anime TV show,
Hmm.
I think that if they were to just use the story of the Kingdom Hearts mobile game, Kingdom Hearts Mobile Union X,
Okay.
I think that that story is one that is lesser told because
Yeah.
the game was like so big, like it had so much to do in it. It was a massive slog for a lot of people, and
Mm.
a lot of people fell off it. But I
Yeah.
think the story, if it could be told in a like kind of very straightforward A to Z fashion, would
Hmm.
be a great addition to the Kingdom Hearts franchise. Um, and it would fill in the gaps in a non-video game way, because like there's so much lore
Yeah.
in that game.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, in some of these HD remakes and remixes and such, didn't they use it as like CGI sort of cutscenes?
Yeah, so they in let me just think here.
2.8?
In 2.8, they were they you meant that I think the union is mentioned, because there's a
Right.
lot of, like, from like Kingdom Hearts 2.8 onwards, there's a lot of talk of the ones who came before, like the original the Keyblade War,
Yeah.
the original Keyblade Masters and stuff. So I think that's when they started talking about it more. But it was in stuff like Birth by Sleep.
Hmm.
I believe that there was some talk there. There was also like, if you hadn't played the mobile game,
Yeah.
if you're not engrossed in the lore in any sort of way, then come that one scene in Kingdom Hearts 3
Hmm.
where Sora summons the all of the Keyblades, and
Yeah.
those Keyblades are all like, you'd only notice this if like you would actually like play, but the way that it was done is like every single time you press the button to use the attack, it was saying the name of a user of the game, because the users were the Keyblade
Uh,
masters of old and stuff like that.
yeah. Yeah.
And like that one silver-haired character is like a main character in the story. But if you aren't engrossed in all of the media, you wouldn't know who that
Mm.
random Keyblade user is.
I see what you
So.
mean. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and it
No,
goes
that's
into like a lot of
interesting.
talk about like I think, but I never got to finish it because the game actually ended
Yeah.
before I could. But it goes into like how some of the enemies, like how it went more into like how Heartless are created. It went more. It was talked about like the creation of the Dream Eaters, um,
Oh, cool.
and stuff like that. It was wild, absolutely wild.
Because what I was just speculating is that if the remix versions have those theatrical cutscenes, play through, that means it has like a beginning, middle, and end to a
Mm,
degree, which could be, like you say, serialized or put into some sort of movie format special, shall we say,
yeah,
sort of thing. So interesting.
yeah. And I know I got one of the arguments my other friend made was that with it was with 2.8 actually. It came with a movie which was like a prequel to the mobile game.
Right. Maybe that's what I'm
So
thinking of.
yeah, that's the moment you said it, I knew what you were talking about, but then as I started talking, I completely forgot where I was going. So
Interesting.
mm,
Yeah, I think I think you're onto something. Those sort of side games and side stories could probably work better because again they have like a beginning, middle, end, and a hook. So
mm,
328 days. The story of
something like that.
Roxas.
I can't remember the exact numbers, but you are right. It is the story. It is the story of Roxas when he was with Organization 13.
A great sort of beginning, middle, and end, and the hook can lead straight into the
Yeah,
main sort of Kingdom Hearts stuff.
absolutely.
Um, Mulan.
I'm sure that there are people who would fight and die for a Mulan anime.
um, yeah, I mean, would you just stretch out that one movie into like a series, or would you? Is it the story after? Hey, you could even do her dad because her dad was in the army and everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, it could be one of those stories which stretches out over a couple of like different arcs. Like,
Yeah.
because I mean, you can have like a 24 episode series that like kind of stretches out over a number of arcs. Like, through it, like you could have it the like you'd have like a pre chapter which would
Hmm.
maybe follow her dad or another character. You'd have you'd have episodes which focus on what the movie that we were portrayed in the theaters was
Yeah,
what happened afterwards.
yeah,
Or maybe you'd have something. Maybe you'd follow someone completely else. Maybe it'd be a story told from the perspective of someone else.
nice. I like that. Yeah,
Or
yeah.
maybe we just go down this route, and I seem to do this for everything. Maybe we just go down. We just mix Mulan with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Mushu is her stance. She's
Yeah.
fighting the Huns like single-handedly. Instead of an avalanche, they're running down. She just stands at the bottom of the
Mm.
slope. She's just like punching up the slope.
I mean, the gang's kind of there already as well, isn't it? Like she has those like three
Yeah,
other sisters,
she's
like
got
they're
a
obviously
gang.
standards. Yeah,
Just make size up the grass of the cricket so that it's like as big as like Iggy is.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're onto a winner there. Like, if Disney's, if we're sitting at the weekends, like doing our various things, or our own families, and
Hmm.
either of us sends the other an article about Disney announcing that they're doing this, like we'll know for sure, because this couldn't have come from anywhere else.
No, and it's pure gold as well. Like
Absolutely.
someone's making notes.
Like,
Uh,
listen, Papa Mickey, like, if you wanna get into bed, if you wanna talk, like, you know, like, look us up in the chat, like, call us up.
our email address is in the description down below.
Please do.
Yeah, I'm excited because I honestly thought Star Wars Visions would hopefully open the door for more adaptations, anime adaptations, and short stories and things of that nature. And here we are with Disney going, we're doing our own thing. We're turning all our villains into high school boys. It's going to be a high school anime. Let's
It's gonna
let's
be
play.
horny as as horny AF. Um,
This is everything Twitter ever wished for. This is everything Tumblr ever drew about. Like it is
but yeah,
here.
it's good to see, because I mean I'm well beyond the point of like trying to gatekeep like entertainment mediums.
Hmm.
And I think it's you get like a big company like Disney, like a big Western company, getting involved in this sort of medium
Yeah.
can only be good to some degrees. I mean, I'm sure there's some people who would argue that it will be bad in a lot of ways, because there's a kind of a stigma that comes with like big companies getting hold of like mediums like this.
Yeah.
However, like I said earlier in the show, when we were younger, we were struggling to find ways to consume this media,
Yes.
and now it's becoming so much more mainstream, and it's much more accessible for people to access, and that can only be, as far as I'm concerned, that can only be a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Definitely. And um, yeah, I honestly think this. Well, I hope it is a good thing more than anything. Less live adaptations from the
yeah,
West and more giving our Western IPs to Japan to kind of turn into something more spectacular. Is
wait
how
a
I see it.
second, wasn't this an episode that we had as well? This
Oh my god!
wow, foreshadowing.
This is obviously turned into some sort of weird precog like
Yeah.
Mystic
This
Meg.
is this our future diary?
It's our future diary. Save it in your phones.
So we foretell the future of anime and manga through the podcast. Tune in by like every other week.
Yeah, because us old boys can tell you what's coming next with our industry knowledge.
I'd like to
Uh,
say it was industry knowledge, but
um, you got anything else more to say about this? Like,
Not really on this subject. I think I was very honest with you pre-show in that like I know the name of the property. I know of Twisted Wonderland, but I don't really know what it's about.
Mm.
Based on the little amount of research I've done, it could be amazing. It could be just fan servicey as all hell.
Yeah,
Regardless, I will give it a watch and hope that. I mean, I hope it does well. Regardless, because I would like to, like, Star Wars Visions, as you said, was like such a hit.
yeah,
I would love for Disney to keep um, trying, because I think that, not everyone gets it right on their first try.
no,
They did with Star Wars Visions, though. In that argument, that they didn't actually make it.
no.
They And Star Wars is already a really well established like world before it became owned by Disney.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, people would have probably dreamt up their own sort of ideas and stuff in the years that it existed before
Yeah,
it was an IP of Disney and such. So yeah, I completely understand that. Um, I'm going to play. Ooh, there
what
he
is
is.
happening?
Um,
Hey,
Look at this. This is some of the.
are
I'm
these
going
from
to
the
turn the
game?
sound. Yeah,
Oh, amazing! See, I mean, look how beautiful it is. I'm 100% down with this.
I've had to turn the sound off because of copywriting and things of that nature, but
That's fair.
that is the
It
type
looks
of
rad.
thing to
Rad as
expect.
hell. Like, it's gonna. I think it. As someone who very much enjoyed Free,
Yes,
I would be a massive hypocrite if I said that I wasn't gonna, like, I might not enjoy this.
Ice Wolf in the chat says it looks delicious.
That it does, Ice Wolf. That it
Mm.
does.
Hmm. um, but yeah, insane quality already just from the trailers of the mobile game.
Mm.
So, whew,
Let's just hope it can keep that quality, because
yeah,
that's condensed into like another very short moment in time. It'd be
mm,
great to see if they could keep that level of quality through a full episode, or two, or
yeah,
three, or six, or nine. We'll see. We'll see.
or
We'll see.
25.
Yeah, it's the magic number. 25 is
That
the
is the
final
magic.
episode of a good anime series.
100%, unless it's Naruto.
Unless it's Naruto, then you'll look into the hundreds, but
Yeah,
many hundreds, many hundreds.
it's worth it. It's worth it. Um, yeah, I'd say that's it for this week's episode. Next week, of course, there'll be some anime news, so make sure you subscribe for catching up next week on anime news, and then the following week, we'll be coming back together to talk about My Hero Academia, the third movie, which has just escaped my mind, which I'm going to Google right now. It's not Hero Rising.
It's
It's
World
Rescue
Hero.
Mission.
Yeah, Hero Rescue Mission or something. World Hero Mission. See, like,
I'm
now your
old.
movie free World Heroes Mission.
World Hero Mission.
I knew this.
Um,
I knew that exactly 2 weeks ago when we talked about it. Then, when we mentioned it, then.
so yes,
Awesome.
we will be talking about um, Heroes Mission, which is very exciting. I'm going to
If the
have
final
this.
boss scene,
Look at it.
if the final boss scene is anywhere near as wild as the final boss of the second movie, then we're on to a winner. So, absolutely.
uh, so yes, not next week, but the week after, we will be giving you our thoughts and reactions to My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission. And but make sure you are here for next week, because again, we've got some anime news to talk about. So I will catch you next week. Susu Day, we will catch you the following week. And as always, let us know what your thoughts. We want to hear, what do you predict will happen with Disney? Will they make some more wonderful IPs? We want to know. So make sure you drop a comment in the section down below, and we shall no doubt see you soon.
Peace.